homestand began with some visitors from the West. Two strong pitching performances, and the first series was won. Up next was a visit from some Central foes, and the Phillies turned a 4-game series into a springboard for their offense. They delivered at the plate and delivered 3 more wins. Finally, the troubled Marlins flipped and flopped into town, but the beasts of the East have sent them to deeper depths in the first 3 games. The one who got the homestand started off in the right direction has the chance to tie the bow next. What a homestand this has been for the Phillies. This afternoon, they go for the series sweep, a 4-game sweep against the Florida Marlins in a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. And as play gets underway today, the Phillies are 5 games up over the Atlanta Braves, who have lost 3 straight. And the Florida Marlins in last place with the Washington Nationals. So before the Phillies sign off on this homestand, they're 8-2 so far. They're looking for win number 9. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Wheels will be around in just a little bit. All right, the Phillies have had a tremendous homestand. And, Sarge, it began with Cliff Lee, and now it will end with Cliff Lee.
Yeah, you're right about that. The very first game. And how about this? Having a number 1 again to throw, the chance to be able to sweep. Now, take a look at this as Cliff Lee starts to pitch. This guy here is just legit. He's come up with that curveball when he has a feel for it, almost impossible to hit. Get some defense, too. He's just really a good athlete, has a lot of confidence. And look at that ball as it goes away there again, as the ball dips away. And what I like about him, again, he doesn't get worried when he's on the mound. Take a look there at his numbers there in those 2 games. Tom, only 1 earned run there, and both those wins. And again, he is a legit number 1.
Well, 1 earned run in 15 innings of work, 17 strikeouts. Look what he's done at home this season.
Yeah, I like that at home in those 8 starts, 5-1. More importantly, he is giving your team a chance to win. ERA 2.17.
Well, giving your team a chance to win has been the storyline for the starters so far on this homestand. We'll see if it continues this afternoon as the Phillies go for the series sweep against the Florida Marlins. It will be Cliff Lee for the Phils. Javier Vasquez gets the start for the Florida Marlins. The lineups and first pitch when we return. Still talking about yesterday's sweep of the day-night doubleheader. And now as they settle in, doesn't matter if they're on the shoulders of their dad or on the seat of their pants, they're getting set for Cliff Lee to finish off this homestand. Just as he began this homestand for the Phillies. And Philly fans can take pride in the fact that their team has the best record in Major League Baseball and 5 games up in the National League East. Let's take a look at the Marlins starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Emilio Bonifacio. OMAR Infante bats second. Logan Morrison hits third, followed by Gabby Sanchez, the first baseman. Jose Lopez starts at third. Mike Stanton hits sixth. He'll be in right field. And the bottom third of Buck, Conklin, and Vasquez to face Phillies left-hander Cliff Lee, who again is making his third start on this homestand. Wills, if this start is anywhere near the first two, Phillies are in good shape.
Yeah, they're kind of like what he did too in the last time the Phillies had that long extra inning game against the Cincinnati Reds. He came out and pitched really well in that game, Tom, and then they went off on a road trip after that. So long flight this afternoon, long homestand. It's gone really well, but boy, it would really be sweet to win this game somehow this afternoon and head out to the West Coast on a good note. Here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report on Cliff. He's really used his curveball a lot lately. It's been very effective for him, and his record against Florida 1-0 and an earned run average of 4.24. Time now for our Nissan Keys to this afternoon's game. A little bit overcast as we start here. Well, sweep, and that would be a sweet way to start that trip out to Seattle this afternoon. And Vasquez, well, he's really been hit hard this year. Phillies hope to keep it up.
Edwin Rodriguez's team has been reeling, as we've talked about during this series. His squad has lost 14 of 15, 6 in a row. And last night, another 1-run loss. Here's Emilio Bonifacio to lead it off, and the first pitch is a strike. So we're underway.
Doesn't get any easier for him, too, because they're headed down to Tampa to play the Rays in St. Petersburg.
See, Bonifacio's number is 277, 2 for 9 in the series. And he has 1 hit in 3 at-bats against Cliff Lee. He's playing short today for Hanley Ramirez. We were told yesterday that Ramirez would not play the day game after the night game. Grounder left side, big hop for Polanco. 1 away. Oh, nice start for Cliff Lee. There's Hanley Ramirez soaking in the overcast. He is available to pinch hit, they said, so we could see him later on. He's been battling a sore back. That's what put him on the disabled list, and they just don't want to pound that back too soon. Here's Omar Infante, who's 1 for 9 in the series. He has 25 career at-bats against Cliff Lee.
Yeah, second game last night, they had Infante on the bench, gave him a little bit of better bench than they have this afternoon. They're going to get after Lee with some right-handed hitters if they can.
See Infante along with Placido Polanco, who's head and shoulders above everybody else, one of the tougher players to strike out in the National League. Here's the 1-1 pitch to him. Line drive, 1 hopper, flagged down by Rollins from the edge of the outfield grass. That is a good throw. Well, 2 groundouts, 2 away here in the first.
See Cliff Lee get some quick outs too. He throws so many pitches the way that Halladay does, and a lot of times Cole Hamels, because all 3 of them become really big time strikeout pitchers. So your strikeout pitcher, you're just going to throw a lot more when you factor in all the foul balls that happen during the course of a game.
Lee was taking a look up at the video board to watch where that pitch was, and he kind of turned his head after he saw it because it was up a little bit. Logan Morrison takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. Morrison overall hitting .286. He does have a home run in this series, as the Marlins have taken the lead in every game in this series.
In the first inning, yeah. And the Phillies have come back and scored at least a run in the first inning.
One ball, 1 strike to count to Morrison. Grounder right side, charging Michael Martinez. He has it, flips over to Howard. 3 straight groundouts And Cliff Lee is through the first. He threw just 9 pitches to get through the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Marlins nothing. Phillies coming up. To the Marlins, the final game of this series. Some of the kids are already done with school, and where would they like to go? The first chance they can to a Phillies game. That's right, get a chance to wrap up this 11-game homestand. Let's take a look at the Phil's lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Shane Victorino bats second. Placido Polanco hits third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. Raul Ibanez is in the 5-hole. Carlos Ruiz hits sixth. Dominic Brown starts again in right field. He'll bat seventh. Michael Martinez in for Chase Utley hits eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Lee. And they'll face veteran right-hander Javier Vasquez, who certainly has had his share of games against the Phillies.
Oh, they've seen him so much time over the years. All those years with the Montreal Expos when he was a power pitcher. A couple of years ago, he had a really good season with the Atlanta Braves. There you see the overall numbers on him. As we mentioned in the keys to the game today, he has really been hit hard this year. He can have those games where you can hit him. There's fastball. That's the range it is now. Throws all kinds of different off-speed pitches. Used to have a great changeup. And there are his numbers against the Phillies. The most wins he has against any team.
Yeah, lifetime 12-9, as you just saw. 4.44 earned run average. Rollins has picked it up on this homestand. 3 homers and 9 RBIs. And he lines one right at Gabby Sanchez. That one was toward the end of the bat, but he still hit it hard.
Hit a couple balls hard his last 2 times up. Nothing to show for it. That thing he hit off the Nunez's leg last night was a bullet and very unlucky.
So 1 away.
Well, Marlins didn't score. Does that mean the Phillies don't now?
It'll be nice to change the tide a little bit.
Yeah. Take the early lead for a change.
Victorino, this homestand, is 13 for 39. He's hitting 3 straight. He has scored 13 runs in his last 10 ball games here on this homestand. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Brian Smith of Philadelphia. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, Brian will win $200. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Vasquez has been around the block a time or two. This is his first stint with the Florida Marlins, but he's been in the East with the Braves and with the Montreal Expos. He has had 2 tours of duty with the Yankees.
Used to be fastball changeup as good as anybody. See, strikeouts, active career leader. That's a lot of strikeouts. He was a premier pitcher.
3-1 the count to Victorino. Back toward the middle. That's going to sneak in the center.
It's almost where he hit the big hit last night, except that one last night was a line drive just to the right of the second baseman. Well, here it is. You see this one's in the same vicinity. A bullet What a huge hit that was. Good base running too. Martinez had gotten a nice lead off second, scored easily.
And that set up the 10th inning game winner for Carlos Ruiz. So with one out, here's Placido Polanco, who played in the nightcap last night. It was off yesterday afternoon. Polanco shows bunt, takes a strike.
Kind of waggling the bat there in case Victorino wanted to run early. Try to distract Buck a little bit, the catcher.
A lot of at-bats against Vasquez during his career, and a lot of success, too. Oh, 0-2 the count to Polanco. He thought that pitch was high. Polanco is 7th in the league in hits. He has 80 so far this year. And he has 23 multi-hit games. On the hands, that's going to loop into center field, read beautifully by Victorino. On his way to third, first and third here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, as you said, Tom, read beautifully. That was really good base running. Shane has that play right in front of him, and he can tell how much room there is between the infield and where that ball is going to land in the outfield. And he saw it right away. And first to third, such a big part of winning baseball. And that's what they have right now. And an RBI set up for Ryan Howard if he can get him. And here's the base run. He takes one peek, knows it's going to land where nobody's going to catch it, and he easily gets to third base.
So with runners on first and third and one out, Ryan Howard's the hitter. So the defensive alignment as close to a traditional alignment as you'll see against Ryan Howard.
Well, we're thinking last night, well, you know, there is a runner at third, though. Thinking last night maybe they were playing a third baseman over there because of the left-handed pitchers. But I don't know.
Lopez off the line. Bonifacio, the shortstop, shaded toward the middle. And Infante, the second baseman, over toward the hole on the right side. That may have been a strike, according to Mike Malinsky, the home plate umpire, but it was not the pitch that Ryan Howard wanted to swing at.
He's calling some pitches up here early in the game.
Ron Culpa back in action at second. Jim Wolf over at third with Darryl Cousins, the crew chief, at first.
He's staying upstairs with him too, and that time he chases.
Howard is second in the league in RBIs, tied with Matt Kemp, excuse me, 3 behind Prince Fielder. And they have come in bunches for Ryan. He has 10 on this homestand. That's a foul ball. You look at those RBI leaders, and it's Central dominated with Pence, Fielder, and Ryan Braun.
And trying to get out of the way. That just off the end of the bat. You know, Milwaukee's made such a run, and Fielder and Braun are their guys.
1-2 the count. And he got him. Just a straight fastball toward the outer half, and there are 2 outs. First strikeout for Vasquez.
Yeah, as Tom said, nothing fancy there, just threw it past him.
Ibanez has really good numbers against Vasquez, and you see what he's done on this homestand. And overall, against Vasquez, Ibanez is 11 for 30 with 4 home runs. Victorino's over at third. Polanco's at first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Phillies have gotten a lot of big 2-out hits in this homestand.
Looks like the ball's almost slipping out of his hand on these last 2 pitches.
Yeah, and the first one was a fastball. That was a changeup. You could see it on a changeup, but normally not on a fastball. Look at that. It's just last night, those 2 out runs they got were so big in that second game. Looks like he doesn't want him here. And he has a base open. Carlos Ruiz, who's got the hit that won the game last night, on deck. And as Tom mentioned, Ibanez wears him out.
Yeah, Carlos only has 9 at bats against Vasquez. And there's ball 4. So the bases are loaded. First walk issued by Vasquez in the game.
Well, big hit. How about this? They just moved the center fielder over a little bit towards right center. Bonifacio had to go a long way for that ball. Then he overran it. Brian Howard scored from second. Chooch was here.
Back-to-back at bats for Carlos Ruiz with a hit. In fact, he started the rally that eventually tied the game and has had a good homestand. They move him up to the 6th hole today, batting with the bases loaded.
Boy, he likes that high strike, this umpire. They may have to get used to this.
But if you're a pitcher, you don't really want to live up there.
No. And the hitters have to understand, well, at least early, that those pitches are going to be called strikes.
Same height, just a little inside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. But with a slider, and it's 1-2. A long first inning for Vasquez. For some teams that might be burdensome, but for the Marlins, they have a couple extra pitchers in their bullpen. Guys they haven't even used in the series. So it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got some good hands in the Hall of Fame club. Pretty good balance, too.
Some good catches here last night.
Ruiz down the right field line. That slice is foul. He's just trying to stay alive any way he can.
Everything's away. 1 pitch inside with a fastball. Everything else has been away. And you know, whether or not he can look out there, we'll see.
Phillies so far this year, you saw that note about their 2-out runs. They are 3rd in the National League in 2-out hits, or 2-out runs, I should say, behind St. Louis and Arizona. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 2 good teams.
Another foul ball. And John Buck's going to go out to the mound to talk to Vasquez.
I don't know whether they tried to do that or not, but they did come inside with a fastball then with everything away.
That was a heck of a catch by Dominic Brown.
Talking about being a nose burner last night. Well, it was.
Oh. Popped up, foul territory. Gabby Sanchez has room, and the side is retired. So the Phillies force Vasquez to throw 27 pitches here at the bottom of the first, but they leave the bases loaded. A little levity for the Phils can always laugh when you're in first place.
dominating his last 2 starts, Cliff Lee's arm has heated up right as the Phillies are heading into the summer months. Following his last start, he sat atop the strikeout leaders in the major leagues, and his ERA continues to drop. The left-hander's 4-game win streak at Citizens Bank Park has come at the right time, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Oh, it's been a good homestand for Cliff Lee. I mean, think about what he's been able to accomplish. 2 different ball games, 15 innings combined, just 1 run allowed as Gabby Sanchez takes the curve. And that's the pitch that really won him game 1 on this homestand, that curveball. Sanchez has hit in 7 straight, overall hitting .310. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. It's funny, the first game of this homestand, the curveball was great. Second game, he didn't throw it as well, but the cutter was really good.
Yeah, well, that's when this guy and Halladay have so many different ways to go that you know, that's what will happen in the course of a game. They'll figure it out, what pitches are working for them, and use them. Here's Roy.
Roy was not too far off last night, but still got a no decision. And Sanchez is aboard with a leadoff walk. First batter of the day that's reached against Lee. Well, last year, the San Diego Padres made a pretty good run in the National League West. They haven't had the same success this year, but they have some pretty good ball players, and they'll be in town Friday, July 22nd to begin a 4-game series. It's one of those wraparound series that finishes up on Monday, the 25th, the Citizens Bank Business Person Special. You can go to Phillies.com and purchase your tickets for those games and every other series that's coming up in July. Matt Latos has struggled, but he's always good to watch. Clayton Richard has struggled this year at times for the Padres, but he's a good pitcher.
Yeah, the Padres' strength is when they have the lead on you because their bullpen's so good.
Fly ball straight away center. Victorino got a very good jump on it and makes an easy play. So 1 away here in the second. Now the Phillies were in the middle of a 5-game winning streak when they saw the Padres out in San Diego, and they had a lot of success out there.
One of their favorite ballparks over the years, that beautiful Petco Park, and they just win when they go. It's like when they go to Pittsburgh, they lose. They go to San Diego, they win.
See their rankings now. They're at the bottom offensively, but they're close to the top, just like last year, in earned run average. In fact, they were at the top for a good part of this year. Now they're sitting 3rd. 3.24 collective ERA.
Steal some bases, which they have to do because they have to find ways to score runs. They don't have a whole lot of power, and they play in that big ballpark. Speaking of big ballparks, well, we're going to Seattle. Ooh, that thing is huge.
1 ball, 1 strike to Mike Stenton. And a curveball that drops in for strike 2. Oh, it's big out in Seattle, and the ball does carry. And a called strike 3. That looked like a fastball right down the chute.
It's like a guy guessing with 2 strikes. Not a great idea.
Strikeout number 108 for Lee on the year.
It's not like you can foul off Lee's fastball necessarily and then get your off-speed pitch to hit. He's got a lot of fastball, this Cliff Lee, and he just throws it right there and he takes it.
Lee is 2nd in the league in strikeouts to Halladay, who has 114. Hamels is 4th with 97. And it's 1 ball, no strikes to John Buck. Phillies have never had 3 pitchers with 200 strikeouts or more in the same season. Down the right field line, and that's slicing foul.
I mean, you said the last time it happened with 2 were Bunning and Short in 65.
Yeah.
Huh?
No. Halladay and Hamels last year.
Yeah, but I mean before
Bunning,
that.
yeah.
Bunning and Short. That's a long way back.
Well, and also the fact that in baseball, 3 with 200 strikeouts. It's been since 1969.
Yeah.
See the strikeout walk ratio. That's what makes these guys so good, is that they get a lot of swings and misses, but they don't give out a whole lot of free passes.
Lee's already walked more batters this year than he did all last year.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-2, and Buck, yeah,
Lucky he didn't hurt
himself on that one.
I was going to say, lucky he didn't hurt himself.
And they've got him picked. Let's see if Howard can make the throw. Now, he caught that ball with 2 hands, and he still was able to make the throw and the tag in time. And the side is retired. 1-3-4 on the putout. The caught stealing. No runs, no hits, nobody left here at the top of the second. Sanchez was going on first move, and Ryan Howard and Michael Martinez took care of him. August 12th, to be exact, John Kruk will go into the Toyota Wall of Fame here at Citizens Bank Park. And, you know, the Krucker was such a fan favorite, helped the Phillies to the 1993 pennant. Being interviewed by Larry Anderson. Oh, boy, that's a little foreshadowing right there for both of those guys. And John joins us up here in the booth. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I know the fans here were when they saw your name, I mean, I think a lot of people, great memories, but also thought that would be pretty neat to see him up there.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, you know, when you think about all the great players that played in this organization, and you know, now you're going to be somewhat associated with them. It's really stupid to think about, to be honest with you, why I would be on there.
Dominic Brown leads it off here in the bottom of the second.
They got about 10 down here, 12 down here will be on soon.
And we were saying that last night. We're going over the list, Johnny. How many of these guys are going to be on it someday?
Lots.
Well, the pitching staff.
Yeah.
Sure, boy.
Well, that's the thing.
Shane will be on. I mean, the whole infield.
Yeah, you think about the different timelines of Phillies history.
Yeah.
You know, Boa, Carlton, Schmidt. That was the 70s part of it, and in the 80s. Now you guys, you know, your group, 93. So we're starting to see, you know, the sort of the evolution of the Phillies timeline. You know, with your players from your generation.
Yeah, and you know, it was nice that it was typical. Like the guy that was our leader, Darren, goes in first.
Right.
And you know, now we follow like we did through the late 80s and mid 90s. We followed him, and so it's like it's it's all come to, you know, the way it should be done, the order, the pecking order. You know, Darren should lead us, and then we follow him.
Fly ball to shallow center. Bonifacio and Conklin are out, and Conklin makes the catch, and there's one away. So with one out, that'll bring Michael Martinez to the plate. John Kruk joining us up here in a booth, and he'll go into the Toyota Wall of Fame later on this year. What was your reaction when Larry Schenk told you?
Well, actually, David Montgomery called.
Okay.
And he called, left a message. It's important. You need to call me. I called him back. I talked to his secretary. Said, he's in a meeting. Can he call you? I said, yeah, sure. I'm like, I must be in trouble. You know, the only time I've ever had conversation with Dave Montgomery besides, hi, how's your family, is why would you do that? Why did you say that? And I'm thinking, oh, gosh, trying to think, what did I say? I know I said, made something about, you know, when Shane in Florida, when he bumped into the pitcher at the end of the game. And I said, you know, what's he thinking? You know, so he'd probably call like, think, why did you say that about Shane? And then I'm thinking, oh, God. Now I'm trying to go over everything like, what stupid thing did I do for him to have to call me? And I guess I didn't do anything stupid, but play here for 5.5 years.
From 89 to 94, and how much do you think that? How much did that change your baseball life coming here?
Oh, it saved it. You know, because I knew I was buried in San Diego. I wasn't going to play, and I was actually told that later. Get in that gap, baby.
That one's heading toward the gap. Stanton's on the run, and he gets there to make the catch.
What a specimen he is.
Oh, he is.
Good Lord. If he ever figures it out.
Well, here are some numbers on John, and every Philly fan remembers, obviously, 93 when he was in the All-Star game, but a 3-time All-Star. 348 during that World Series.
Yeah, and the thing that I remember most is not the Joe Carter home run, but in Game 6, I was 0 for 5, I think. Bothered me. Still bothered. Danny Cox struck me out, I think. Oh, gosh. That's what I think about more than anything. Is maybe I'm a negative thinker, but you know, someone said, "Wow, you hit 340 something in the World Series." I said, "Yeah, about 0 for 5 Game 6. That bothers me." And I think that 15-14 game, I think I was 0 for 5 that night too.
With a flare to left, here comes Logan Morrison. That'll drop in front of him.
He likes to play, Johnny. Cliff Lee.
You know, when I talked to him in spring training, he said, you know, one of the reasons is not because, you know, I wanted to beat in Philly. He said that's a given. He said I wanted to hit.
Yep.
And you love that about a pitcher. I watched Clayton Kershaw the other night, got a base hit, and then took out the second baseman on a ground ball. So that's a guy who loves baseball. And Cliff Lee, you know, I never understood why pitchers didn't take more pride in the fact that if you could put the ball in play, you have a chance to help yourself. Most guys think it's a joke.
Yeah, and a lot of times when they can do that, then they beat the guy on the other side. You know, it's like you have 9 on 8. Hey, I got to ask you one thing, because there's so many things happen with you here. But opening day, today, you came back from your surgery that year, and the reaction you got, what was that like for you?
Wow. You know, I didn't know. To me, I just wanted to go play. I needed to play just for my mental health. But when I went out there and Larry Bowe was crying and John Vukovic was crying, I thought, whoa, this is bigger than what I anticipated. And then the first at bat, I could hit a double. And, you know, the ovation. And then I forget it was playing shortstop. He came over and he said, hey, dummy, you're supposed to tip your hat. And I'm like, well, I said, I didn't know what the heck I was supposed to do, you know, in the middle of a game. But it was, you know, I thought the fans liked me here, but after that I knew that, you know, this was a special relationship with the people in Philadelphia that will never die for me.
Now, what is that like, to know that you've arrived for a group like this?
You know, I think even though I grew up predominantly in West Virginia in a rural area, I feel like I have more in common with people here than I do anywhere else, because, you know, Philly fans are known for what? Passion, giving their opinion, whether you like it or not. I've been criticized a lot about those traits over the years, but
I was going to say, that sounds like you.
That's what I mean. If it's good enough for 50,000 every night, it's good enough for me.
Hey, you got to hold up something from your daughter.
Yeah, my daughter.
Before we forget.
My daughter was up this morning. She made this sign. It's unbelievable. She's 6 years old. She made a sign. It says, "Go Phillies, you're going to win, I know it." And she wrote everyone's name. And then when she found out that Michael Martinez was playing second instead of Chase on a day off, she said, "Should I write Martinez in there and take Chase off?" I said, "No, we love Chase. Let's keep him on there." So she kept him on. And, yeah, it's she handed it to me, and she said, "Dad, put this on TV, Dad."
That is pretty
really
good.
Cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Well, John will join us as we come back at the top of the third in a scoreless game here at Citizens Bank Park. Two Phillies that hit home runs for the Marlins in Game 3 of the 1997 World Series. You got that one?
Yeah.
Well, log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the info, and please submit your answer on the subject line.
We're not allowed to answer it yet, Johnny, but you nodded too.
I actually talked to one of them the day after, congratulated him, and I was actually in West Virginia playing golf, and he was still the after effects of the party that night, and I was in the midst of those after effects trying to play golf.
Really?
So our conversation was very incoherent. But congratulating him nonetheless, because I love the guy.
Well, John Kruk, of course, is going into the Toyota Wall of Fame later on this year, and he is this year's recipient. Last year, Darren Dalton was the recipient, his former teammate. Of course, the great Harry Kalas the year before, Juan Samuel in 2008.
And I know a guy that you love that's up on that wall, and you mentioned his name a little earlier.
Yeah, and you know, his son just had a baby boy. Vince just and his wife had a baby boy named him John. So that's the thing when you come back here, the things you miss, and those, you know, he and Harry and Whitey, of course, you know, those are tough ones, because that's something you'll remember. Like, and I know, believe me, I think about them a lot. But you know, that day, you know, when you see all the names on the wall and you know that those guys aren't here with us anymore, that's going to be a tough one too.
0-2 pitch to Buck. Check swing, slow roller, right back to the mound. Lee, easy play, one away here in the third.
Hey, what do you think of the Phillies right now? You know, you're on national TV all the time, and you have your opinions on the ball club. Hey, and Johnny, it's been an up and down season.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this club?
Well, I said about a month ago that I think the Braves are going to get in the World Series, because I think offensively the Phillies are going to struggle. I think in a short series with the Braves pitching, they can win a short series from the Phillies. What I didn't think though was the Chase Utley effect, because we were told we didn't know if he was coming back.
Right.
So when he came back, and you understand he's a great player, and they say the true sign of greatness is how good do you make your teammates. He makes one guy on this team that makes his teammates better, and I didn't take that in consideration. But this team, if they're clicking offensively with their pitching, I can't see them not playing Boston in the World Series.
Fly ball to left center. Victorino with the sunglasses on makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. And the way he's playing since coming back, I mean, he has, last night alone, he made some unbelievable plays and ran the bases so well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It could be a blessing in disguise that he missed so much times. You know how he plays. You know, he's going to try to do whatever he can every day to win, which he should. But time off is not going to hurt him. And you know the last couple years there at the end of the season, he was worn down or whatever. I just think that this was a godsend that the Phillies pitching held it together, held him there in first place, and now the offense is starting to catch up, and he's healthy. And Oh, that's scary. I talked to a lot of players around the National League and pitchers and stuff, and they'll tell you, if they're clicking with that pitching, he said you just hand it to him and say, here, it's yours, because we can't beat you.
Here's Javier Vasquez with 2 outs. John, we just saw Dominic Brown on one of the shots. What have you thought about him so far?
Well, me and Hollins have had Dave Hollins have had different opinions. He thinks he's going to be a star. I said, I don't know if he can hit a fastball. And you can see that's the way they pitch him.
You know what that railing's like coming up.
That railing comes up quick, and it ain't soft. It's especially
it looks soft. It's not.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, he's 6'5", so it would hit me in the chest. It's hitting him in the thighs because he's so tall. But yeah, that's one of those you have to. He drifted a little bit on it. If you run as hard as you can and try to get there and get set, but easier said than done.
Breaking ball hit back to the box.
He's not a good athlete either.
He's not much a good athlete. Johnny, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
We're
guys.
all very happy when we saw your name pop up.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Well,
amazing.
August 12th, again, the Phillies get set to take on the Nationals. John Kruk, before that ball game, will go right there into the Toyota Wall of Fame. SUVs, we make history. By Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Well, last of the third, Phillies have 3 hits so far against Javier Vasquez. 2 of those hits came in the first. When they had the bases loaded, didn't score. Now we go to the bottom of the third. It'll be Victorino, Polanco, and Ryan Howard. Boy, it has been good to be home for this homestand. 8-2, really making up a lot of lost time in the division. 5 games up in the National League East.
Yeah, it is hard to believe that they've been able to do that. And when they went on that last road trip and played so poorly, they actually gained a game in the standings.
Right. That's what set the tone.
Yeah. Well, the Braves cooled off a little bit. They were really hot, and the Phillies have taken care of the Florida Marlins in head-to-head here. And the Marlins were losing other games too when the Phillies were winning. So now it's the Mets in third place.
Slapped the other way through the hole. Second hit of the afternoon for Victorino. Hey, once again, fans, voting is open anytime, 24/7. Just go to Phillies.com. Send your favorite Philly to this year's All-Star game in Phoenix. Placido Polanco is coming up to the plate now, leads all vote getters in the National League at third base, but some of the other Phillies need some help. You can vote up to 25 times by going to Phillies.com. This homestand has helped the voting because you can punch out the ballots here, but the Phillies are going to hit the road for 6 in the next 7. So while the Phillies are gone, then you can be busy on the computer. Polanco pulls it to short. That should be 2. Bonifacio to second for 1. And the relay in time, the 6-4-3 double play.
That's when you make a lot of contact like Polanco does. You're going to hit a double plays too. I thought he might try and work the ball the other way, but he got a fastball, came tailing in, and he smothers it. If there's ever a perfect double play ball, there it was.
Howard struck out his first time up, 0 for 1.
Phillies had a chance to get a run there with runners at first and third and only one out, not able to do it. Now they're into the shift you would think they would be into with a right-handed pitcher and nobody on base. There it is.
Infante is way back in shallow right. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Indians tied at 2. That game's in the bottom of the second. They are jockeying for position in the Central. They're tied right now, with the Indians having a percentage point lead over Detroit. It's turned out to be a pretty good series. Verlander pitched so well in Game 1. Fausto Carmona pitched pretty well yesterday for the Indians. Brad Penny did not.
The Indians are just trying to get straightened out and get consistent. They were so hot for a while. They had a big lead in the division. Then they got stone cold.
And Detroit has won 12 games in their last 16.
Right. Well, the Indians went cold. So, you know, that's kind of what happened with the Phillies a little bit in this division, with the Marlins especially. To think they're 10.5 back. No way.
Yeah, they've lost 8.5 games since the month turned.
Well, you know, Infante likes his arm where he's playing. That is as deep as second base as we've seen anybody play against Howard.
And the count has run full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan. Ibanez waits on deck. That ball was coming in his belly button.
It was a fastball too. I think he got out front a little bit. Look how deep Infante is. We'll find the dirt eventually. It's going to show up. There it is. That's deep.
Ball 4. And with 2 outs, the second walk of the day for Vasquez. Hey, every weekday starting at 12:30, feed your hunger for Philly sports without leaving your desk. Take a lunch break with Rhea Hughes tomorrow starting at 12:30, only on csnphilly.com. Rhea will preview what's going on this weekend. I would think it's going to be a busy weekend, not only around the Delaware Valley, but all around the sports world. Here's Ibanez, who walked his first time up.
Yeah, not that far away at Congressional in Maryland. The U.S. Open's going on. That's a big golf tournament, not that far from here.
That was a curveball, not a slider, and it was up. But it was in.
He's throwing all his pitches: fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. You know, so far Vasquez has had the upper hand, and he's a guy you can hit him. And you know, the Phillies expect to do that at some point today.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Ibanez, and it's 2-1. What do you think the reaction is going to be tomorrow in Seattle when Ibanez is introduced?
I think that he evidently was really popular out there, so it should be really positive. Huh?
He had 2 different stints out there.
And we're going to Toronto pretty soon. And how about when Halladay shows up in Toronto?
That was kind of the payback from last year when the Phillies were supposed to go to Toronto, but that series was was moved back here to Philadelphia, with the Blue Jays being the home team. This is the G8 Summit.
Right.
2-2 the count to Ibanez. Rolls it to second base. OMAR INFANTE playing the more traditional second base against Ibanez. And the side is retired. No runs, a hit. One man left for the Phillies. We've completed 3. We go to the 4th. Bonifacio is due to lead it off for the Marlins. Shredder featuring hands-free shredding. Who but W.B. Mason. 3 of the books here in Philadelphia. Cliff Lee has faced the minimum. He's walked 1 batter, but Gabby Sanchez was caught leaning off first, as Lee had a great move over to first to pick him off. Caught him stealing going to second base.
Didn't give him a good pitch to actually try and hit. Almost like they're pitching around him a little bit. Could hit the ball out of the ballpark, Sanchez.
Bonifacio bunts, and it's 0-1. Bonifacio grounded to third his first time up. Broke his bat. Michael Martinez is there, makes the catch. 1 away. I should say shattered, obliterated his bat.
That's on one of those cutters coming in on him. That's a devastating pitch. I mean, a right-hander thinking a fastball is hittable pitch, comes right in on his hands. Look at that movement. End up starting late. It gets on your hands. No chance to try and drive the ball, and you're right. It did splinter up.
Oh, with 1 gone, here's OMAR INFANTE. And he takes a breaking ball for a ball. It's 1-0. Infante retired by Rollins his first time up.
You see that arm motion there that he has throwing that fastball. Same arm motion on the breaking ball.
A little Italian ice there, Sarge?
Looks like it. Having a little problem. Well, he's got it off.
And he's ready to go. You see how he just relaxed back? That ball is spinning out toward Rollins, and Infante is retired for the 2nd time by Jimmy. 2 outs here in the 4th. Hey, the Majestic Clubhouse Store is your home for Phillies Father's Day gifts. Enjoy a great selection of ties, Hawaiian shirts, golf accessories, Sarge's hat collection, and of course the coffee table book, Phillies, an extraordinary tradition. The Majestic Clubhouse Store at Citizens Bank Park is open daily from 10 a.m. until 6. There are some of the great items. That's not one of Sarge's hats, but his hats are available. It's one of those floppy hats.
Yeah, I like the tie.
You like that tie?
Yeah, I do.
Bucket hat. What about the shirt? You like the shirt?
Shirts okay. I like the hat, however, especially if you're out doing a little fishing.
Little old school look there.
Yep.
What about that one?
I like that hat. I can wear that. Well, that hat keeps the sun off your face, Tom.
1-1 that counts to Logan Morrison. You say you can wear that. What about that one, Aaron?
Might have to pass on that one. That's the kind that you give away. Oh, boy.
I don't know. That
Although it looks okay. But see, that's the whole thing about a hat. I mean, you wear the different hats and see that do-rag. Didn't do well with that either.
You or him?
Well, either.
What about a visor?
Whatever you like. Whatever makes you happy. That's what I was going to say. I mean, the hat. Oh, that's a super-looking hat right there. This guy's got to have good taste. He was here last Father's Day. It's the Father's Day cap they gave away.
Ground ball foul by Morrison. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now that, I mean, that'll block every bit of the sun.
Yeah, cowboy hat. But again, I mean, everybody has their own style with the different hats, and I don't know if you realize it or not, Tom, but hats are back.
Just looking around the ballpark, they certainly are. Morrison hits a one-hopper toward Rollins on the edge of the outfield grass. He throws him out. Rollins has been busy, not only in this inning, but also this afternoon. Again, Cliff Lee has faced the minimum so far through 4. Caps abound all over Citizens Bank Park as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. Buy the Quality Plus Ford stores and buy McDonald's. I'm loving it. Bottom of the 4th. Looks like another sellout here at Citizens Bank Park.
Yep.
Phillies and the Marlins scoreless. Phillies have won the first 3 games of this series.
Huge.
And are 10-2 on the homestand. Last night was the largest regular season crowd ever here at Citizens Bank Park. And if they stayed till the end, and most did, they saw Carlos Ruiz win it with a base hit in the bottom of the 10th.
Boy, right up the middle. And that's what happens. Player not trying to do too much. Put a good stroke on the ball. And, you know, we talked about it. Short and quick to the ball and right up the middle. You know, a lot of times, guys that will have success start changing the batting stance.
There's a swing and bunt up the third base line. Vasquez does a nice job. He used his entire body to make that play. So 1 out here in the 4th. Well, Sarge, yesterday we found out that Larry O'Rourke from the Allentown Morning Call and the Trentonian in New Jersey, and a very good friend of mine and a lot of folks here, with the Phillies, a lot of the Philly beat writers, that he passed away after a very courageous battle against Lou Gehrig's disease.
Oh, wow.
We were just here at the ballpark this past Monday for the ALS Phillies Festival. Raised over $800,000 to fight Lou Gehrig's disease. And Larry was close friends with a lot of the folks that you see right there all across the board. And I met Larry in the early 1990s. And we began a relationship, a friendship, when I was with the Trenton Thunder. He was the beat writer for the Thunder, for the Trentonian, along with John Nalbone from the Trenton Times. And the Times and the Trentonian always traveled with us around the minor league circuit in the Eastern League. And just a wonderful, wonderful person who died at the age of 46.
Wow.
Way too young. And our thoughts go out to Larry's family, his mom and dad. You want to talk about courageous people? You want to talk about people that took care of their son over these last few years? Just unbelievable. And it was very difficult, I think, for a lot of people yesterday, and will continue to be, that we won't see or hear Larry anymore. And tough day. It was a very tough day.
Sad.
And that's why it's so important what the Phillies do with the ALS chapter here in Philadelphia. Ellen Phillips, who does such an amazing job with the chapter here in Philly. And as we said, over $800,000 was raised this past week. And it's important. And everybody did what they could and what they can, and it's always appreciated.
Well, it's always important to be able to give back, especially if you have the ability to be able to do it. You know, a lot of times, not always with money, but sometimes with time, like where the players came in the other day. And it was just awesome, too. I mean, see the faces of a lot of the people coming in and in a giving spirit.
Brown checks his swing. It's 2-2. Well, Larry, after he left the Trentonian, went to the Allentown Morning Call and covered the Eagles. And boy, did he love covering the National Football League. And when he was diagnosed with the disease, his goal was to stay on the beat as long as he could. And he did. And he did it courageously. And, you know, the folks that wrote with him, you have to give them credit, too, because they made sure that he was where he needed to be.
Right.
And the Eagles did the same thing. And the folks at the Allentown Morning Call, I mean, they kept him busy after the initial years that he came down with the disease. As Brown goes down on strikes, and there are 2 outs.
Here's this pitch that Crucky was talking about, maybe might having problems with that fastball. And again, that's one of those pitches, Tom, you can't learn to actually hit that. That's God-given talent. You can learn to hit that breaking ball. But obviously, I mean, I think that Dominic is going to be not just a good player, but a star. There's some certain things that he's going to have to do at that plate to be able to be consistent the way that you would want a player to be of his caliber. He's the type of player that could lead a ball club by the way he hits home runs. We've seen his arm, and he plays good defense.
It's just going to take some time.
A little ways to go.
0-2 the count to Martinez. And he lays off a changeup, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And he's fortunate to be able to come in, and you have veteran ball players. When you have veteran players, they're not just counting on, the rookie to carry the ball club. And obviously, there have been some that have done that, but you want to ease them in there so that they feel good about themselves, and he does.
Martinez hit the ball hard twice today. Retired his first time and gets a base hit his second time.
You got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, he just doesn't get a lot of playing time in. And imagine having to go up and face major league pitching and only taking a lot of BP. Very difficult to judge a player when you haven't seen him a lot on the field.
Lee singled his first time up, so he's 1 for 1. No fooling around there by Vasquez.
Yeah, he does have movement on his fastball. He's throwing that two-seamer. You know, it looks like he's up for this game.
To the count.
He's pitching him like he's a regular hitter. Fastball up, breaking ball.
To the count.
Tried to backdoor him with that breaking ball.
Taking a long look in on what he wants to throw. And Lee fouls it at the plate. Got a piece of John Buck.
Well, in these kind of situations, you take away that speed from Martinez because you don't want him really running until it gets to the count, maybe like 3-2, because you don't want your pitcher leading off the inning. That's also another big part of Martinez's game is his legs.
He showed that last night, scoring the tying run.
Oh, yeah. Well, you see how you put pressure on the opposition when you have speed like that.
Curveball lifted in the air toward right center field. Stanton's on the run. It's over his head off the scoreboard. Here comes Martinez. He's going to score. 1-0 Phillies on an RBI double by Cliff Lee.
Wow. Boy, talking about a guy that likes to really pitch or likes to play. Look at the smile on his face. Carlos Zambrano with the Cubs cornered that phrase, when you hang him, somebody's going to bang him. I thought it was a breaking ball out over the plate. Take a look at it, and it sure was as he makes solid contact, hitting that ball deep right in the right center for an RBI too. Stand-up double as he's safe at second base.
Safe and secure with New York life. So Cliff Lee with his 4th career double. And he's given the Phillies a 1-0 lead.
Boy, that's huge when you get 2 outs, run around first base. You had that perfect scenario, so to speak, where a ball was hitting the gap. Martinez is just off to the races.
It's exhilarating for the team that does it. It's deflating for the other team, and the Marlins have had a lot of that during this series.
Yeah, and then too, your pitchers are getting all those hits. You might want to go over and ask him what he's looking for. This guy's 2 for 2. He's pitching, driving in runs. Come on, guys.
Rollins fouls it back. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. John Kruk brought up a good point. He wishes every pitcher took their at-bats as serious as Cliff Lee does. It's true.
Well, when you're a good athlete and you think you can hit, you're having fun up there. But you look at his mechanics, he's not bailing at the plate. He's going into the ball. I mean, that's just not a simple task, putting solid wood on a breaking ball, even if you hang it and you haven't been having a lot of batting practice. And keep in mind, he pitched in the American League for a long time. That's great to see.
Rollins takes a fastball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Kind of hits that demoralize the pitcher on the opposition. Works hard to get a Ryan Howard out. And hangs a ball, that even if he hangs it, he's thinking he shouldn't hit it that hard.
Rollins off the end of the bat. Shallow right field. Infante is out and makes the over-the-shoulder grab, and the side is retired. Well, Cliff Lee is doing a little damage. Look at that swing. It's a beauty. That brought home Michael Martinez. Look at the reaction by Cole Hamels and Roy Halladay. Just another day watching Cliff Lee at the plate. Picks up his 5th career RBI, and he'll take a 1-0 lead out to the mound. Enter to win a trip to the All-Star game. Compliments of Scott's. Now some of these Phillies hoping to get a trip to the All-Star game. Cliff Lee's hoping that he might be selected for this year's All-Star game. He's had a very good run. Lee has retired the Marlins in order 3 times today, and every time the Phillies do that, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity HD Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. You think his heart is still racing after that RBI double?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you run the bases, you can see him take that deep breath, and you're a little bit out of breath. He's in pretty good shape.
Gabby Sanchez, who walked his first time up, stands in to lead off the 5th. Good curveball. This curveball today is almost as good as it was in the first game he pitched on this homestand.
Yep. You know, and he talks about having a feel for it and being able to throw it.
See all the ground ball out so far. Not a lot of strikeouts. And he'll have games where he won't strike out a whole lot early on.
Yeah, one of the things too you got to realize these guys are pretty good hitters on the team. Ruiz talked about that yesterday on the post-game show there with Jim Jackson. Yeah, just don't go up and just throw the ball right down the middle on these guys. That's why when you talk to the players, they know how fortunate they are in winning against a club like this. There's just no giving on any ball club that you face.
There's the 3-2 pitch to Sanchez. In the air to right field. Dominic Brown venturing back to the warning track, has room. 1 away. A long out to start the 5th, and Lee will face Jose Lopez. Well, Sarge, you were talking to Eduardo Perez today, who's the hitting coach for the Marlins. You know, they're going through a very difficult month of June. I mean, they were 2 games out a day before June began, and Perez was doing TV at that time. He wasn't even the hitting coach.
No. Yeah, I talked with him about actually changing jobs, but this is something that he wanted to do. And not only that, he manages in the offseason in Puerto Rico. And his aspirations is to be a major league manager.
Ground ball foul. It's 0-2.
Although once he got there, his dad and Andre Dawson really said, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
Well, that's what we were talking about. They were 10 up over 500 on the 28th of May. Now 2-16 since then.
Yeah, that's almost like nothing going right for them. You know, but still, when you look at that record, 2-16, yeah, you don't want to be one of those clubs who end up losing to them.
How about that ERA? 5.91.
Wicked. As that wicked line drive goes into the stands. And this, I got to tell you, this guy swings the bat. He hits the ball hard when he makes contact.
There's Sanchez, who pitched well last night. They thought they had their first win in this series after he went 7 innings.
This guy pitched a great game yesterday.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Second strikeout for Lee. Took something off it. So 2 outs here in the 5th.
See where this location is. Well, you're right. You can tell, too, Lopez off balance after getting those fastballs. And that's another thing that Lee does, changes speeds. And pitchers, they'll change speeds on their own from time to time.
Mike Stanton's the hitter with 2 outs. Stanton takes a strike. It's 0-1. Stanton went down looking his first time up. He was the first strikeout victim for Lee.
Good pitch. Right, looks like he might be, well, he's opened up again. Now, that outside pitch down and away would be a difficult pitch for him to hit. Oop. Had a little trip, actually trying to catch that ground ball as she hands it to a fan, and look how happy he is.
The 1-2. Grounded toward the middle, and that's into center field, a base hit. I thought that was angling over toward Rollins a little bit more. That's the first hit of the day for the Florida Marlins.
Tell you, if that pitch is down, he doesn't hit that ball. The only reason that he did is because it was up, and fans showing their appreciation. Tell you, the fans here in Philadelphia are very knowledgeable about the game and some of the things that just doesn't show up in the box scores, like getting a runner over, getting a base hit, when, you know, following the game the way that they do.
Well, he talked about that when he decided to re-sign with the Phillies. They don't need a prompter to know when to cheer and when not to cheer, and they just showed it right there. Dominic Brown takes care of John Buck. No runs, 1 hit, the first of the day for the Marlins. We go to the bottom of the 5th with Victorino due to lead it off. of the 5th. Look at that, Sarge. We lost you.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Well,
there we go. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Oh, gosh. Isn't that great? I wonder why they put you first, though, Tom.
Well, it's a shorter name.
Oh, okay. That's right. What a heart is right.
Well, thank you very much. That's very nice of you. Victorino leads off here at the bottom of the 5th. Got some Angels out there, Sarge. Everybody needs them. Swing and a miss. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Look at Victorino. He just ducked down. Sarge, did you get your halo today?
No, I didn't, but it looks nice.
Back toward the Hall of Fame club and out of play, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I got to tell you, Vasquez is not pitching like he has a 7 ERA, or his record is 3-6. You know, this is what I talk about, where a lot of players, they get up to play here at Citizens Bank and against the fighting Phils.
Kendrick yesterday didn't pitch like he was just added to the rotation. He really dealt against these Marlins.
Well, he sure did. And those early runs, I think, helped him out so much. Able to go out and just pitch a great game where he didn't have pressure on him at all to make certain pitches.
Yeah, baseball's a funny game. I mean, you can look at a lot of the stats and break it down and say this guy's going to do this or this guy's going to do that. But they always say, wait till you get between the lines.
Oh, boy.
And anything can happen. Kendrick yesterday was masterful through 7. And Vasquez today has allowed the 1 run on the RBI double by Cliff Lee. But he's been pretty good, too. He's left 6 batters so far, 6 base runners so far. That's why it's a great game.
Oh, boy.
One out. Here's Polanco. But you've seen it before, Sarge. As a player, you're going up against a guy saying, oh, we're going to kill this guy today.
Oh, boy. I mean, it's happened, I mean, more than not. I mean, there's guys, and usually Bobby Bonds would go up and, you know, let us know what the pitcher was saying. And he did that against Tom Seaver one night. Said he didn't have anything as he threw a 2-hitter, punched down about 16, got him 4 times. And after the game, he'd say, Bobby, I thought you said he didn't have anything. And he said he got better during the game.
From inning 1 to inning 2, I guess.
Oh, what a competitor Tom Seaver was.
0-2 the count to Polanco. Breaking ball lifted, shallow right. Infante will give way to Stanton. Hesitantly, 2 outs. Well, again, if you go to Phillies.com while the Phillies are away, you can even do it today. While the Phillies are away, you can vote up to 25 times for your favorite Phillies. Send them to this year's All-Star game out in Phoenix. Again, the Diamondbacks will be hosting the All-Star game. Polanco is the only one leading his position right now, but that could change, as we know. So again, vote early, vote often, vote today. Phillies.com.
Going to be hot.
Can't wait to see the home run derby. If the roof is open or closed, it doesn't really matter, but to see how the ball travels.
Oh, there are going to be some balls flying out of that ballpark.
Howard's 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. In the air to left field. That sounded pretty good. Morrison going back. That one is gone! Opposite field home run for Ryan Howard. It's his 15th of the year, and the Phillies now lead it 2-0.
Boy, he went down and caught a fastball as that ball kind of breaking away And let me tell you, he goes out, nails that ball into left center. No doubt about it for me. Once it left the bat, just a matter of how far it was going. Boy, there it is, and solid swing goes down on that ball.
And Brian Smith of Philadelphia, you've just won $200 courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot. Second opposite field homer on this homestand for Howard.
Yeah, that's what he gives you, though. He gives you that home run off of pitchers. Things can be down. Maybe he's not swinging all that great, but when he connects, it's not just a double. The ball's out of the ballpark.
And Ibanez off the end of the bat spins it down the left field line, and he'll get a double. By the way, Logan Morrison, who kind of climbed the wall on that home run by Ryan Howard. Did you see him just go after that ball? He was gimpy going after that ball by Ibanez.
See, no stride. Look at that, though. No stride at all. He's so quiet hitting that ball. I'll take a look at it. Yeah, we talked about this before. I mean, boy, it looked like he was going to climb up there, but he saw it was just up. No, we talked about that. You're going up on the fence. Ball, pardon me, out of the ballpark. That's false hustle.
Another good swing by Ryan Howard, and the Phillies lead it 2-0. A little rip in that Xfinity sign out there in left center field.
Yeah, I'm going to send him a bill for that. Just cooling himself off.
It's now 57 RBIs for Ryan Howard, and this homestand, he has 11 RBIs now in 11 games.
Well, it gets them quick because you're able to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Ruiz is 0 for 2. He's popped out, grounded out.
Yeah, it's interesting, though. John says, John Cluck was talking about this club and said if they hit, he thinks they're going to be in Boston and playing the Boston Red Sox. I mean, is he guaranteeing that Boston's going to get there? You know, that's a tough division to.
They look pretty good right now.
Well, they look real good like that right now. But see, this is what clubs go through those things. Early on in the season, you would go like, boy, what's going on with the Red Sox? That's why you play 162 ball games, so that they can average out.
Infante goes out. Stanton comes in. The side is retired. Ibanez left at second, but a resounding swing by Ryan Howard. The opposite way, his 15th homer of the year, and the Phillies lead it 2-0 over the Marlins. top sports writers are talking about the sport of baseball with Jim Duquette and pro football with NFL analyst Brian Baldinger. Watch AT&T Presents Daily News live tonight at 5, only on Comcast Sportsnet. $45,628. Phillies have a 2-0 lead as we go to the 6th. Cliff Lee's allowed only 1 hit. And that was a single by Mike Stanton that came in the 5th. Coghlan's 0 for 1. He flied to center his first time up. Another comebacker. Lee doesn't even wait for Howard to get to the bag, and he throws over for the first out.
Well, you know what now, though? Howard knows when it's hit back, get to the bag because that ball's coming.
Ryan probably figures, yeah, I always wanted to be a tight end.
Oh, boy. You know, he does that all the time, and you can see, oh, what a great pitch again. I mean, he just jams him. Now, look where Howard is as he starts to get over there. He already knows, let me get over here quick. One hands the ball. They're just having some fun right now. That's the kind of balls you like coming back, those little easy one-hoppers.
You're right, though. They do look like they're having a lot of fun right at this point.
Well, you do when you win.
Here's Helms, who pinch hits for Vasquez. He went 5 innings, allowed 8 hits and 2 runs, 101 pitches. Mike Dunn is up and throwing in the pen. It's early for Mike Dunn, but they do have a couple lefties. They have Choate as well. 3-0 the count to Helms. Helms overall hitting .219. 5 RBIs. Every pitch he has in his repertoire, he's throwing for strikes today.
Well, and I tell you, they really like throwing to Carlos Ruiz behind the plate.
That's deep but playable. Victorino out toward the track. It carried pretty well, about 400 feet.
Yeah, wind picked up just a little bit. Victorino talks about you just can't go on the flag, and he gets better and better out there in center field. And a lot of times, even if he does make a mistake with his speed, he's able to overcome it.
.69% of his pitches are strikes. He and Halladay both. Bonifacio takes a strike.
I see he decides to try and make him work and take a pitch. Throws another strike. Filthy.
He's got really good stuff today, and he only has 2 strikeouts.
Well, he's starting to get another feel there, it seems like, with this breaking ball.
Try to backdoor that cutter on the outside part of the plate. It's 1-2.
He's been getting that cutter in on the righties. He's thrown the curve ball. He's able to throw the ball on the black on the outside part of the plate. As a hitter, just don't know what to look for.
Yeah, because a lot of pitchers, I would think, Sarge, would throw fastball and fastball counts, breaking ball counts when they're ahead. But with Lee, it doesn't matter if he's ahead, behind, even. He'll throw anything.
And the good thing is you got several pitchers, and the starters in particular, that will do the same thing. Hamels will do that. Fastball count. He's able to throw his changeup.
The 2-2 pitch. Little low, 3-2.
looking for that shutdown inning again.
Second walk issued by Cliff Lee. Bonifacio is aboard with OMAR and Infante. Well, the Phillies go on this road trip, and then they come back next week, and they'll take on the Oakland A's in a weekend series. The Red Sox will be here, and you know there are still some games this year where you can get tickets. In fact, go to Phillies.com, search around a little bit, see if there's spots around the ballpark that you can sit in that you haven't normally sat in. And don't forget, there's also standing room only tickets available prior to each and every ball game. I mean, there were seats available for this series coming in, and folks capitalized, and voila, the largest regular season crowd in ballpark history. There are those standing room only spots along the concourse that we talked about. Fly ball to left center field. Ibanez just waved off Victorino, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits. One man left here in the sixth. Still only one hit allowed for Cliff Lee through 6 as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. And by Citizens Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. Home half of the sixth. It's 2-0 Phillies. The good news is the Phillies have the lead. The bad news is they have 8 hits and they've left 7 through 5. And now they're into the Marlins bullpen. Here's Mike Dunn, who gave up the game-winning hit yesterday. He's 4-5 now, an ERA over 4. Talked about his control problems when he came into the game last night. He's walked 19, and that's really been his big issue because he has more than a strikeout per inning pitch this year.
Well, that's all a part of it, though. You can't come up and start walking guys. There are some pitchers, like you said, they walk guys and then able to get their strikeouts, but you continue to put pressure on your teammates. You want to make them hit to be able to get on.
Dominic Brown, Michael Martinez, Cliff Lee for the Phillies, the bottom third here in the sixth. Brown swings at the first pitch down the left field line. That's no man's land and a foul ball.
Well, he's already at second base.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Now I say that.
Well, I'm not taking anything for granted.
Well, I say it's very impressive, but that's really the way it should be done.
Well, you're right. Should be the norm.
But it isn't, so that's why it's impressive.
Well, you know, guys that hustle, and especially in today's game, it does stand out. You're right. You know, everyone should be able to go out and give 100%, but all throughout the league.
Well, let's hope he never loses that right there.
Well, he's more of a yes sir, no sir type of a guy right now. You know, he loves the play, and not only that, respectful of, you know, guys that have come before him.
Legends.
I like that word.
Again down the left field line foul. It's 1-2.
No, they tried to get him to get his hands down in spring training. He experimented with it, and he just didn't feel comfortable. So they allowed him to go back up to where he normally has, where he's had really good success throughout the minor leagues in his career. There's Greg Gross, better known as GG.
He had a big walk last night.
Great at bat.
When the Phillies won the ball game. That one's back toward the middle. That's his third hit of the year against left-handers.
Well, fighting Fields too, you got the luxury of being able to have him in the lineup there, even though he's not hitting for a high average because of the rest of his teammates. Breaking ball that he picks on. Good mechanics. Foot down and still a little bit off the end of the bat. He fights it up the middle. But sometimes you have those days like that where, man, these things aren't going right. You got to gut those at bats out.
Slowly hit towards short. Bonifacio hustles the throw to first. Martinez is retired. 6-3 on the putout. Well, that's why it's nice to have that speed with Dominic Brown. A couple other hitters, or base runners I should say, might have been forced out at second.
Yeah. Yeah, and he actually took a look over just to make sure that maybe he might have had a shot, but that ball hit slow, didn't want to take any chances.
Well, here's Lee. An RBI double his last time up. It was his 8th hit in his last 19 at-bats.
Boy, I mean, it's just icing on the cake. I mean, when you're getting your pitcher to drive in runs.
Lee was 0 for 13 to start. And 8 for his last 19.
That's really unbelievable. You know what I mean? These have been clean hits for the most part.
And if you're a pitcher, that's over a month's worth of at-bats.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, the pitchers always have, the starting pitchers, that little contest they have throughout the season, getting the bunts down and hits, RBIs. And we keep going like that, everybody will be paying for second place.
Oh, he's retired by Dunn. Brown goes to third.
Now take a look at this first run here. If he drives in that run there, and well, we talked about maybe a pitcher hitting a home run before this season is over with. And for one, don't think it's going to happen. Go on record in saying that.
I picked Hamels. I'm going to stay with that.
Well, might want to be changing your mind there. Although Hamels does have a good stroke, but he's been making some pretty good contact.
Cliff thinks it's going to be him. He's funny when you talk to him about hitting. Oh, it's funny.
So he thinks he's going to hit a home run.
He thinks he's going to hit a home run, yeah.
Well, we've seen Big Joe Blanton go deep in this ballpark before.
In a pressure situation.
And if it's going to happen, I would feel that it would be at Citizens Bank. As maybe you have the wind blowing out at Wrigley Field, and let's go on record to say that won't count. Okay? Just want that wind blowing out 40, 50 miles an hour and the pop-up goes out.
So we have to erase some of yours?
Oh, come on now. I hit line drives. I hit line drives out of there. Dave Kingman. He's the one that was hitting them back on the roof.
Well, the last home run for the Phils by a pitcher. It was 2009, Chan-Ho Park down in South Florida.
Now that's a legit poke.
Here's the 1-2 to Rollins. Inside and low, 2-2. You're right. The way he's swinging, he's the hottest of the pitchers.
Well, you're going on solid contact, and he's starting to make some noise. You know, it's stinging on a breaking ball the way he did. It's
little looper toward right. That's going to drop out of the glove of Mike Stanton. Brown's going to score. Rollins tries for two. He'll get there. And the Phillies lead it 3-0.
Well, not how hard you hit him, it's where you hit him.
Well, it's a double and an RBI for Rollins, his 28th of the year.
Kind of off the end of the bat, I got to tell you, he actually had it, and he hit the ground and came out of his glove. Take a look at it as he comes in. Right there in the webbing, and then it comes out. No control over the ball. That's the reason they didn't call him out when that first was in his glove.
Right, you have to be able to pull it out of your glove with your throwing hand in order for it to be a catch.
Well, he's been just tearing up that right field with different dives.
Here's Victorino now with 2 outs, a run across the plate in the 6th. And he takes on the inside corner.
Ball's up a little.
There have been 2 plays in particular in this series where Stanton has gotten to the ball. And in neither one of those plays that I think he would get there. I mean, he's so long and quick, and he closed very quickly.
Well, he did. Well, he actually had it in his glove. It's a good pitch. Yeah, keep in mind now, this kid's 21 years old and playing the way that he's playing.
Stanton.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to get better. He's going to get smarter. You know, God-given talent already. He's strong enough, evident of his home runs he's hit so far this year.
Victorino gets a piece of it. Buck doesn't hold on. He's saying he held on to it.
Well, why is it on the ground?
That's an excellent point, Sarge. Now they're going to see if he was trying to take it out of his glove, if that's when he dropped it. I thought it just popped in and out of his glove. Let's see. Darryl Cousins, the crew chief, talking with Mike Malinsky.
Well, you wouldn't think he'd make us think about that unless he actually really had it, but I'm just looking at the ball on the ground as he does call him out.
All right. So now Victorino is going to question it. Let's take a look. It's a foul tip. He's got it. So they call it a strikeout. Charlie Manuel doesn't think so. He's going out to plead his case.
Well, I mean, obviously he caught the ball, and I guess they're looking at it as if the runner's at second base. You know, on a double play, they transfer the ball and they go like, okay, you're out.
Well, I think they're also saying, Sarge, that Victorino's bat hit the glove and not knocked the ball out of the glove.
Well, it was pretty close.
Well,
whether or not it hit it or not.
It is a strikeout for Mike Dunn. Take a look at it one more time. The tip by Victorino, the catch by Buck, and the bat hitting the glove and knocking the ball loose. Well, Logan Morrison leads off the top of the 7th. Cliff Lee gets him to foul the first pitch off. There was a little bit of a delay in between innings, but not for Lee. He went right out to the mound while they were discussing that last strikeout. He was ready to fire. Victorino tipped one into the glove of John Buck, and then his bat on the backswing glanced off Buck's glove and knocked the ball loose. So after Mike Malinsky, the home plate umpire, conferred with Darrell Cousins, they did deem it a strikeout, and it was the right call.
Yeah, it was a really good job of conferring, getting the play right.
Yeah, I didn't see the backswing hit the glove initially until the replay, because the ball went pretty far back toward the screen. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Little looper to center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Just the second hit of the day for the Marlins. There you go. This is a look at it one more time.
Yeah, now when you have the advantage of the slow motion, he swings at a high fastball. It's in Buck's glove, and then he knocks it out of the glove. And they called it a foul tip, too, didn't they?
Yeah.
They said he fouls it. Of course, he catches it, so that's a strikeout at that point. Yeah, it's a good call. And then knocks it out of the glove.
So a runner at first. Here's Gabby Sanchez. Phillies lead at 3-0. Breaking ball inside and low, 1-0. Lee's in pretty good shape pitch count wise. He's only thrown 83 pitches.
One of the reasons what we talked about at the beginning of the game is strikeout total is not that high. Pitching to more contact today and quicker outs.
Towering fly ball, shallow left. Ibanez looking up at the gray skies. Back to first goes Morrison.
That's the secret of him pitching games with a lower pitch count, is not to have as many strikeouts, even though they look great and they're fun to watch and all that. Next thing you do, you look up in the 7th inning, you got 100 and some pitches.
Well, it's time now to take a look at our Verizon Wireless game summary. Only hits for the Marlins wheels, Mike Stanton and Logan Morrison.
Yeah, and we just had the one by Logan Morrison. Ryan Howard with a solo home run. Cliff Lee with an RBI double. And 6 1/3 innings for him. Had a no-hitter going there into the 5th.
Jose Lopez takes a change low. Lopez is 0 for 2.
All the guys they have that can hit the ball of the ballpark. It was nice to get that extra run, because in this sport the ground can cause a fumble. As happened with Stanton out there. He just, the ball hit the ground in his glove, popped out.
And he's ready to hit. He's on deck behind Lopez. Over to shortstop. That could be 2. Rollins flips to Martinez. The relay in time as Martinez just brushed off Logan Morrison's slide. 6-4-3. No runs, 1 hit. Nobody left here at the top of the 7th. Now Jimmy Rollins with another double play partner. No problem. quiz answer. All right, Wills, here you go. Name the 2 former Phillies that hit home runs for the Marlins in Game 3 of the '97 World Series. I had a laugh before when John Kruk was saying, "Yeah, I saw one of them the next day."
Yeah, and he was talking about one of them today. Actually, I think he talked about both of them. His eyes lit up with that question. Well, one's Darren Dahl.
That is correct.
And Jim Eisenreich was on that team, so I'm going to say Isaac.
Jim Eisenreich is correct as well. Log back onto Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. Eisenreich was the one that I thought would be difficult for folks to remember, that he was part of that squad.
I'm sure that was one of those ones we went, but I just remembered that game because it was really such a neat thing to see those 2 ex-Phillies homer for the Indians. At that time, Charlie Manuel's for the Marlins against at that time Charlie Manuel's Indians.
Well, here's Ryan Webb in the ball game and in the series for the first time.
Yeah, Charlie was hitting coach on that team. Yeah, there's Ryan Webb. We saw him warm up the other night, but you're right. It's strange that they haven't used some of these other guys in this series.
Placido Polanco leads it off here in the bottom of the 7th. Polanco, Howard, and Ibanez, and the first pitch fastball for a strike. Polanco singled back in the 1st, hit into a double play in the 3rd, and then flied out to right in the 5th. Little cue shot right back to Webb. Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Ryan Howard, an opposite field home run his last time at the plate.
Good swing on that ball. Hit it hard to left center field over the Xfinity sign into the seats.
That was the second of the 3 2-out hits the Phillies got, or 2-out runs the Phillies got today.
Again, 2-out runs.
Right into the shift. Bonifacio, the shortstop, on the right side. 6-3 on the putout. So 2 away. Hey, follow all the Phillies stars of tomorrow at Lehigh Valley, Reading, Lakewood, and Williamsport. All 4 minor league affiliates are close to Philadelphia and easy to visit. Enjoy a fantastic ballpark experience with games all summer long. Go to Phillies.com/minor leagues for more info and to order tickets. Looks like a number of the Phillies minor league affiliates are on the road, but hey, while the Phils are out in Seattle, you can even take the 2.5-hour drive down to Bowie, just outside of Annapolis, Washington, D.C., to see the Reading Phillies take on the Bowie Bay Sox if you want to. Or you can go to McCoy Stadium up in Pawtucket to see Lehigh Valley play the Paw Sox.
Have a weekend in New England.
What had won the count to Ibanez. Anytime is a good time to go down to Clearwater. You can see the Threshers play the Dunedin Blue Jays.
Oh, yeah. That's a quick road trip. You have to go to Dunedin.
Toward 3rd, Jose Lopez throws out Ibanez, a 1-2-3 7th for Ryan Webb. So the Phillies go down in order. We've completed 7. It's 3-0 Phils. We go to the 8th. fastest mobile broadband network, and by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. We go to the top of the 8th here in Philadelphia. Cliff Lee in the shadows of the Fanatic, finishing his dugout dance. We'll start the 8th.
He's had quite a homestand.
He
too.
sure has. He unveiled his new book, The Fanatics Philadelphia Story. He's always got a little more energy when the Phillies are winning some games.
Oh yeah, he's a fanatic. But he has more energy when you get wins. This stretch they've been going through right now would not be a whole lot of laughs. He's been losing these games. Against the Marlins with this.
Yeah. Yep. But give the Phillies some credit because they have kind of taken care of business against Florida during this series. You know, the Marlins came in reeling, and they could have easily gotten back within reach.
Sure.
Of the Phils in this division.
And that game last night was a dagger in the heart to them. Now they have 6 outs to go in this game, and it would really be a tremendous series against Florida, of course, and a homestand too. Be 9-2 homestand.
There seems to be some heat on Edwin Rodriguez, the manager of the Marlins, but in this day and age, when you're involved in this kind of a run, as Stanton goes down looking for the second time, I guess it's not surprising that there's some heat on the manager.
Yeah, what do you say when your hitters stand there and take fastballs for strike 3? Cliff Lee is just a baseball player. John Kruk was in there. We're talking about that with him. He can field his position. He can swing the bat. He just has tremendous presence on the mound all the time. Had a bunch of weak comebackers today. It's good stuff that he's had, and that's what we were talking about earlier. This contact stuff that he's had this afternoon. These guys are wild swingers, and his pitch count is so low because they're putting the ball in play.
That's our Home Depot defensive play of the game. The Home Depot doing more on defense. John Buck's the hitter, and he takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Buck.
Go fire Edwin Rodriguez. He'll probably win some games right away because they're due to win. Have nothing to do with the manager, but that's what will happen. And managers know that the day they're hired, that someday they're either going to quit or they're going to get fired.
In some ways, it seems like they're just not picking up the pitches from Lee today.
Well, thankfully, they haven't made a lot of good contact against him today, and they've hit a few balls hard, but they've been to center field where there's all that room. There's another number. Look at him.
He is amazing.
He's just a tremendous athlete. He reacts so well with the ball off the bat. He's a 5th infielder. Just showed that little montage of his fielding plays. We'll add this one. This is the best one. And he had that all the way. He judged that hop like an infielder does. Where you're able to have your feet set when you get the hop, and then you have all that momentum to throw, as opposed to being misread the hop and be off balance.
Well, he has 2 outs here in the 8th. Here's Chris Coghlan, who's 0 for 2. He's fly to center, grounded back to Lee.
His location has really been good too. He's been able to throw it almost where he wants to. He's walked to, and that'll annoy him. And when he talks about it after the game, Jim Wolf says no swing.
One ball and 2 strikes to Coghlan.
Excuse me, Tom. When Lee's on this downward plane like he is today with his pitches, you see how many balls are being smothered too by the hitters.
That's why there's so many groundouts.
Right, and weak groundouts.
The 1-2 pitch. Way outside, 2-2.
I don't know whether he threw You know, it's tough to cross up a catcher with nobody on base, but Carlos looked at him out a little bit like, what was that? Did we call that? It looked like a cutter. Just really fooled him because he boxed it. He expected something else.
Got him. Oh. He went fishing after one out of the strike zone. All he could do is shake his head. Cliff Lee, his 4th strikeout in the crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. They absolutely love it. 1, 2, 3 go the Marlins. Cliff Lee, in his own way, is dealing this afternoon, and he'll take a 3-0 lead into the bottom of the 8th. Membership includes official Fightin' Phil's fan club membership card, a decal and a hat, the subscription to MLB.com game day audio for your PC, 10% off your entire purchase coupon for the Majestic Clubhouse store. Go to Phillies.com now to sign up for your Fightin' Phil's fan club. Carlos Ruiz leads off the 8th against Ryan Webb, and he takes low.
These starters the Phillies have go out there. You think about complete games a lot of times, and they're certainly thinking about one right now with Cliff Lee. Nobody up in the bullpen. This game under control for him at this point.
He's thrown 103 pitches, Lee has, and this is the continuation of what has been an outstanding run for the Phillies starters. I mean, they've consistently gone 6, 7, 8 innings, maybe 9 today. As Ruiz hits a spinner out to second, 1 away.
And during this homestand, the offense has come alive too and made it a little bit easier for them. Now they're going to go to Seattle starting tomorrow night and face a fireballer in Pineda, and then King Felix on Saturday. They're going to face 2 really tough pitchers out of the shootout.
Yeah, on Saturday, King Felix will be opposed by Vance Worley. Vance arrived today here at the ballpark and will be put on the roster eventually. A subsequent move will follow.
Vance Worley's a good kid to talk to, and he's so honest about things. I was walking in the park with him today. You look at Cliff Lee, and he had his bag, and I said, boy, you've been on some odyssey. He says, yeah, it's my own fault if I didn't stink so bad in New York. That was a heck of an answer, huh? Wasn't one of those, yeah, boy, the organization's doing this to me, or my agent thinks that I ought to say this or that. It was, no, I just wasn't very good, so they sent me out.
It's probably the only way you can improve.
Well, really liked hearing that from a player.
Hey, tonight on Sports Night, get a full recap of this ball game, plus all the other news Philly fans need to know. That's on Sports Night tonight at 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
We'd love to see Michael Martinez get on here in league and come up to home plate, because he's going to get some roar.
Martinez is 1 for 3 with a run scored.
Doing everything today. Pitch, field your position, swing the bat. He's a pitcher Whitey could have loved today.
And you know he wants to take one more hack too.
Oh, sure he does. Oh, he likes this part of it. No chance of making bunt. Be 2 outs.
Fly ball left field. Logan Morrison backpedals a little bit, and the side is retired. So no opportunity for Cliff Lee to hit, but certainly an opportunity right in front of him to complete this ball game as we go to the 9th. Baseball and softball Carpenter Cup tournament showcases some of the best high school players in the area. Now for baseball, the quarterfinal games will be at the home of the Iron Pigs, Coca-Cola Park. That's tomorrow and Saturday. Now the semifinals and championship games will be here at Citizens Bank Park Monday and Tuesday. Softball, well, that tournament begins at FDR Park on Monday. For information, go to the community section at Phillies.com. And it's always a great opportunity for the high school softball and baseball players to, be part of such a great tournament. Phillies lead at 3-0 as we go to the top of the 9th. And Lee is trying to finish this one off. He'll face Hanley Ramirez, a pinch hitter.
Nobody up in the bullpen as the inning begins. Complete confidence in Cliff Lee to get this done, get him over the airport.
Ramirez this year hitting .206 with 4 homers and 17 runs batted in.
He hasn't even had innings where he's been in jams today, where you look at it and say, well, his pitch count is this, but how much time, how much has he had to exert himself?
There's the strike. It's 1-1. Just to give you a rundown, 21 complete games, 6 shutouts for Cliff Lee.
Shutout this year for him.
Fly ball, foul down the right field line, and it's 1-2. Back on the 14th of April, the Phillies shut out the Washington Nationals behind Cliff Lee. That was the day after Roy Halladay pitched a complete game against the Nationals.
He threw that 4-0 game, 3-hitter.
1-2 the count to Ramirez. Try the cutter, and it missed off the outside corner.
The Marlins are going to get going. This guy has to really help them. Hanley Ramirez. You know, he has tremendous talent, but for whatever reasons, he's been going the other way a little bit as a player.
That's the part that people are confused about. The
right.
Whatever reason, they just don't know.
He just has so much ability. Those two guys know it. Edwin Rodriguez and Eduardo Perez, the new hitting instructor.
Had him way out in front. He fouls it away. It remains 3-2. Grounder towards shortstop. To his left, Rollins. He's got it. And Ramirez, who's not really running all that well, is retired very easily for the first out.
He was away from him a lot in that at bat, and then he came inside maybe with a cut fastball, something that jammed Hanley Ramirez, and another week out. So many of them here today.
Lee today has 4 strikeouts. He has 111 on the season. This has not been a day, though, about the strikeouts, and he's had days that have been about the strikeout.
That's one of the reasons why he has 109 pitches with an out in the 9th inning.
Bonifacio takes a strike. Ryan Matson's up and throwing in the pen just in case Lee gets into any kind of trouble.
I wonder how hard he's going to go out there, whether he gets a full warm up or not, because you know that's almost like you use the guy when that happens.
There's a strike. It's 1-2. Trying to win his 3rd consecutive game on this homestand. Toward third. Nice hop for Polanco. Plenty of time to record the 2nd out here in the 9th. 1 out to go. And here they come. 45,628. And they're hoping to see Cliff Lee cap off a great homestand for the Phillies. Well, the month of June, as we've mentioned, has not always been kind to the Phillies. 1982, the last time they won 7 straight. OMAR Infante's the hitter. Takes low, 1-0.
Boy, this has been surgical today.
Pop up the first base line. Here comes Howard, puts it away, and Cliff Lee throws a 2-out shutout to finish up this homestand. It's his 3rd win on the homestand. He was outstanding this afternoon, not only on the mound, but also at the plate as the Phillies win it 3-0 and complete the series sweep of the Florida Marlins. And no doubt about who our Chevrolet player of the game is.
Yeah, I guess.
Not only the complete game shutout, but his RBI double, the only run he needed today.
Yeah, he drove in that run to give the Phillies a 1-0 lead. Then they added a couple more after that. What an amazing job today by Cliff Lee. Totally in control, absolutely surgical.
You want to talk about dominance? Look at this. 1 earned run in 24 innings on this homestand for Cliff Lee.
Yeah. You know, they were always talked about, well, it's going to be tough to bring big-time pitchers to this ballpark because it's such a hitter's ballpark. Boy, Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay, they turned all that around. 22nd career complete game, his 7th career shutout, and the Phillies' first 4-game sweep of the Marlins here in Philadelphia since 2001. And our W. Mason delivery of the game,
Well, here's that only run he needed.
Got a little hanging breaking ball right there. Michael Martinez was on base, hit it halfway up the scoreboard and right center. Martinez flies around the bases, scores a run. Cliff Lee with an RBI double, and that is our W.B. Mason delivery of the game, Tommy.
Well, he was awfully fun to watch this afternoon, not only on the mound but also at the plate, and he's down on the field with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
Hey guys, thanks a lot. Cliff, more fun pitching or more fun hitting?
A little bit of both. That was definitely a fun game. It was a lot of fun to contribute and help the team win. That's really what it's all about.
Third win here on this road trip, not road trip, but at home here. It's got to make you feel good. And not only that, put a little distance with those Florida Marlins behind you guys.
Yeah, it was a big win for us. You know, anytime you get to sweep a team, especially the quality of the Marlins, it's you're doing something. So we're going to try to keep this momentum going on this road trip and keep rolling.
Last question. Sorry about that. On your pitches today, what do you think worked the best for you?
I think using my curveball more. That's been effective for me the past couple games, and I'm going to continue to try to use it more. It's a big pitch for me, and it worked well tonight. Kept him off the fastball a little more.
Nice sweep for the team. Continued success. See you on the plane. All right, Tom Wills.
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. Well, he was so good today. He didn't strike out a whole lot, but not a whole lot was hit that hard, including the final out by OMAR Infante.